Okay. Oh boy. All right. We're still here, guys. Still with me? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry for having these problems today, but my connection's really been awful. Okay. All right. Now we're back in now we're back in the swing of things. Okay. Anything else, Die? Steve? Anything in the WWE UFC department? Blank. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yes. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 5 minute rule, guys. Remember, 5 minute rule. Okay. Not good. Not good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So now we gotta move on. All right. I'm gonna go to my feel good story of the week now because this ties into the next story. I don't know if anybody saw the Little League World Series finale last week. Um, with California taking on Curacao. What a finish! Let me say it up for you. Bottom of the sixth, as it goes in Little League baseball. California won on a dramatic home run by Louis Lappy in the bottom of the sixth to beat Curacao 6-5 after giving up 4 runs in the fifth. Lappy flipped his bat and waved his arms in celebration as he trotted around the bases, leaping into home plate. And he was greeted by his teammates surrounding the batter's box. You think the Giants won the pennant all over again? Oh boy. Okay. Curacao tied the game at the top of the fifth on a grand salami by Nasar El Oasis, setting up a celebration by the players and coaches of Curacao fans from the third baseline. Unfortunately, it became short lived. As Lappe hit the game winner in the sixth, California has now won the Little League Series a total of 8 times. Curacao has represented the international side of the bracket in the last 3 seasons. Non-U.S. teams that competed in 2019, 2022, and 2023 but lost each time. There was no tournament because in 2020 because of you know what, and the 2021 League World Series was limited to just U.S. teams. But what a moment that was! You know, count was 1-0, and then he hits the home run and wins the game for the U.S. Absolutely unbelievable. Any thoughts on that? Yeah, that's what crazy. I think in 90, I think the biggest finish of that was I think in 96 or 97. That was a quiet finish too, if I recall. Yeah, but what a moment, and a great moment for the U.S. That was just unreal. Okay, the Patriots acquired offensive tackle Tyrone Wheatley from Tyrone Jr. from the Browns in exchange for Pierre Strong Jr. earlier this week. Wheatley's dad, who played at Michigan in the NFL, helps address the greatest need: injuries and inconsistent play on offensive line have been the top storyline in camp and the preseason. Wheatley gives a developmental prospect in both size and strength. I remember his dad playing in the NFL. Oh, yeah. The Browns had 4 other players ahead of Wheatley on offensive tackle, meaning was unlikely to make the roster, with no guarantee he would clear waivers to make the practice squad. Wheatley, though, has yet to appear in an NFL game. Meanwhile, the Browns, have been looking for a third running back behind Nick Chubb and Jeremy Ford. Strong potentially gives them a speedy complement to their depth chart. The Patriots also selected Strong in the 4th round of last year's draft of South Dakota. Well, like Sun guys, or no? It's kind of hard to compare to your dad was a legend in the league. So, I don't know. Yeah, well, let's see. I mean, Wheatley Jr. hasn't played a game yet, so it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, you never know. All right, on to baseball. The Blue Jays plays reliever Eric Swanson on the 15-day injured list with inflammation in his spine. Ooh, not good, not good. Swanson departed the game on, I believe, was Wednesday. Win over the Guardians in the 7th inning. He retired pitcher Bo Naylor to start the inning and gave up a single to Miles Straw before showing discomfort after pitch to Cole Calhoun, which for him was the last straw. Oh, sorry. Okay, Swanson is 3-2 with an ERA of 3.10 and 60 relief appearances this season. After being acquired from the Mariners in November involving Pescor Hernandez. The Blue Jays, in a corresponding move, called Jay Jackson from their AAA counterpart just across the border in Buffalo. Jackson is 3-0 with a 1.64 ERA and 21 strikeouts in 22 innings and 18 relief appearances for the Birds. But I don't know if it's going to be a lot. I don't know if it's going to be much to get him as a wild card contender. Probably not. Now's the time you guys start thinking. Yeah. Well, September 1st is when they have their Brashes move up. I don't know about this number here. It's a new caller. I don't recognize it, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. Is that from Washington State, if not mistaken? Captain. Oh, guys, this is the captain here. That's the name he goes by. He does a wonderful show on Saturday nights from 7 to 8. I've been a part of it for quite some time now. Captain, it's nice to have you aboard on my show. Welcome aboard. So, what do you want to mention before I move on to anything? Yeah. Well, we're going all over the place. We got baseball. We're going to do college football in a little while in the NFL. We were just wrapping up some baseball news. We were talking also a little bit of the FIBA Cup tournament, which also have another story here about Sudan. They move on to the round of. They get the Olympic berth as they became the top African club in the FIBA Cup tournament. So good news for them. It's been a rout for the most part of the U.S. So no surprise there. We also did talk tennis. But Captain, anything you want to bring up while there's still time? Go right ahead. Yeah, yeah, bottom. Yes, right. Maybe. Yes. Well, I think if they don't make the playoffs, I don't think he is going to survive. If they don't make the postseason. If they do make it, I think they'll get one more year in them. But if they go down without making the postseason, which at this point they might not, I think Boone is going to be gone. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Hey, Captain, you're not going to believe this, but you know how they've been doing with the pitch clock in the regular season this year to make games faster? You're not going to believe this. They're actually going to keep it in the postseason. I want to get your thoughts on that because I know how much you really can't stand it. So this is why I want to get them on. I wasn't fond of it at all. Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. I know, but with a short attention span, with kids and play everybody else these days, I think they wanted to speed the game up. I mean, because not for nothing, especially the postseason, because the postseason games just seem to drag on like 3.5, 4 hours, even longer, just to finish 9 innings. Never mind extra. I mean, and half the people can't even stay awake to finish watching the game. Yeah, that doesn't look good either, right? I get it. I get it. You're thinking this is a stupid idea, right? Right. I knew. I yeah. Right. You're old school. I get it. Well, actually, yeah, right. Yeah. But that's how they want to do it. I mean, they want to speed up everything now. I mean, they're even speeding up college football games. I mean, they're not stopping the clock on a first down anymore, except in the last 2 minutes of each half. So they're coming more like the NFL now. I've heard of I feel the need for speed, but this might be taking it a little bit too far. A little bit. Oh, the ball goes out of bounds, yeah, but every time they got a first down, they would stop the clock. And that would be like an extra first down. They're not doing that in college football anymore. They'll stop it only in the last 2 minutes of the half. and the fourth quarter. Yeah. Yep. In college football, yeah, for centuries. That was part of their game. Now they want to because they want to get the game over with. Oh boy. Speaking of college football, we have our predictions now. So, Cap, if you can hang on for like about 10 or 15 minutes, we can do our college football and NFL picks if you can stick around. You know it. Sure. Yeah. Why not? Why not? I mean, there's no right or wrong here, of course. Yeah, there's no right or wrong here. So, aren't we all? Yeah. Thanks, Cap. Oh, thanks a lot, Cap. That means a lot. Thank you, Captain. Okay. I'll see what I'll see what I can do. All right. So while we're on the subject, why don't we do that right now? We'll do the NFL game first because there's only one game. So it goes like this: the Lions take on the Chiefs on Thursday night. All right. Steve, what do you got? Lions and Chiefs. Which one? Okay. Diane, Jimmy, Mike. I'm gonna go Chiefs myself. Okay. And next week we'll do the full schedule. I thought I just did that one first because it was shorter. Okay, college guys, ready? Okay. Um, I'll tell you what. Why don't we review this week's Sunday and Monday games, and then we'll do next week's games. Okay, just for laughs. All right. So for tomorrow, Northwestern versus Rutgers. Mike. All right, Jimmy. You would. Diane, Diane. I go with Rutgers too. This is just a review from last week. Just games haven't started yet, so I just thought I'd review the last four of this week. Okay, Oregon State, which is number 18 against San Jose State. Steve. Okay, Mike, Jimmy, and Diane. Oregon State is okay. Now this one I want you to think over carefully because this is going to be a doozy tomorrow. Number 5 LSU versus number 8 Florida State. Steve, think this over carefully. So I thought I'd review this. No, LSU Florida State. All right. This is not an easy decision, guys. So I don't blame you for hesitating. Mike, you said with a question mark. Hmm. Okay. Jimmy, or do you, all right, Diane. I'm gonna go with LSU too. Say it like you mean it, not with a question mark though. Okay. And finally, for this week, my okay. Clemson versus Duke. Steve. Yeah. Mike. Diane. And Jimmy. Clemson is Duke is a basketball school, not football. All right, so on to this week's games. If this will load up. Oh, by the way, before I go on anything else, I don't know if any of you know this, but we had family a passing of a family member this past week. My aunt Jean passed away on Thursday night after a long illness. But I wasn't sure if I was going to be on today, but I know, I know if Aunt Jean she's looking down at me right now and saying, "Louis, go on with the show, okay? Come on, make us proud," and that's what I intend to do. So, thanks, Aunt Jean, and Uncle Herman too. Right. Well, you know me though. That's the thing. Okay, so on to next week's games. Now we're only doing touch one. Now we're not going to do every game because that would take till next week to get done. So listen carefully to these games. Number one, Georgia versus Ball State. Steve, thank you. Mike, Diane, Jimmy. Georgia it is. Okay, moving on. The Ohio State versus in-state rival Youngstown State. Steve, right? Mike, Jimmy, Diane. Unanimous again. That's what I'm going with too. All right. Number 7, Penn State versus Delaware. And what did Delaware? She wore a New Jersey. Oh boy. Ugh. All right, Steve. Mike. Oh, upset. Jimmy. Diane. Go Lions. Okay. Notre Dame versus NC State. Okay, Steve. Mike. Jimmy. And Diane. Notre Dame it is. Okay, Utah versus Baylor. Steve. Of course. Mike. Jimmy. Diane. Baylor is. That's because uh oh really? I'm gonna go with Utah actually. Baylor's good in football, but I think Utah's a bit better. Okay. Kansas State versus Troy. Steve. Mike. Jimmy. Diane. Kansas State it is. Okay. Clemson, number 9 versus Charleston Southern. Steve. Right. Mike. Jimmy. Diane. Okay. Number 2, Michigan versus University of Las Vegas. Steve. Michigan versus UNLV. I should have said UNLV. Of course. Jimmy. Mike. And Diane. Ooh, going with the underdog. I'm going Michigan anyway. Okay, this one's an interesting battle, guys. Listen carefully. Number 22, Old Miss versus number 24, Tulane. Not easy as it looks, guys. Steve. 3 wins to Tulane. All right, Mike. Tulane. Yeah. Okay. Jimmy. Jimmy. Okay, and Diane. Making it happen. Tulane is okay. Texas A&M versus Miami. Jimmy. Who might that be for you? Yeah. I was pretending I didn't know. Mike. Right. Steve. Diane. I'm gonna go with Miami. Okay. The Battle of Iowa. Number 25, Iowa versus Iowa State. Steve. Okay. Mike. Jimmy. And Diane. Iowa it is. Okay. Yeah. All right. Uh, number okay. Number 10, Washington versus Tulsa. Steve. All right. Mike. Okay. Jimmy. Diane. Gerald, I know you came in late, so I'll just read it off here again. Washington versus Tulsa. All right, I'm going Washington. Tennessee versus Austin P. Steve. You would, okay. Gerald? Yeah, I think it's a Tennessee. Mike? Jimmy? You mean Tennessee? Okay, and Diane. I'll go Tennessee too. Okay, North Carolina versus Appalachia State. Steve. Yeah. Steve. North Carolina, Appalachia State. Appalachia. Mike? Okay. Yeah. Diane. Gerald. Steve, are you there? Okay, I didn't hear you. Okay. Oh, okay. Oklahoma versus SMU. All right, Steve. Mike. Jimmy. Gerald. Diane. Okay. Okay. Now we got an interesting matchup here, guys. Listen to this one. Number 4, Alabama versus 11, Texas. Oh boy, this is gonna be good. Steve. Gerald. All right. Mike. Diane. I'm going with the upside. I'm going with Texas. Okay. Thanks, Jane. All right. Oregon versus Texas Tech. All right, Steve. Oregon, Texas Tech. Gerald. All right, Mike. Diane. Okay, I'm going with Texas Tech too. And the CW starts their schedule next week, and it's Pittsburgh against Cincinnati. The backyard brawl. Okay, I like that. That's right. CW is doing college football now. What do you think up next? All right, this should be an easy one. Number 5, LSU versus Grambling. All right, Steve. Right, Mike, Jimmy, Diane. Yeah, and Gerald. LSU it is. Rutgers versus Temple. Oh, this should be fun. Mike, Jimmy. Okay. Okay, Diane. Steve and Gerald. I'm going Rutgers. Okay. Number 8, Florida State, Southern Mississippi. Steve. Okay, okay. Gerald, Mike, Diane. I'm going to Florida State too. Oregon State versus, oh, this should be easy. UC Davis, wherever that is. All right, Steve, Mike, Jimmy, Diane. Okay, and Alex joined us back in. I can't go through all of them again, so okay, all right. And last but not least, good rivalry. Okay, okay, good rivalry game here. USC versus Stanford. Steve, Mike, right? Mike, Jimmy, Jimmy, Diane, Gerald, Gerald, and Alex. Okay, all right. I just hear that. That wasn't so bad. I thought that was quicker than I actually thought. All right, so on to the others of the day. First up, free agent center Javon was waived by the Mavericks on Tuesday after signing a 3-year deal. He started his first 9 games with Felton a month into the season. McGee averaged a lonely 4.5 points per game with 2.5 blocks in 42 games last season and averaged 7.8 points and 5.2 rebounds in his career. McGee has 3 NBA titles, though, 2 with the Warriors and 1 with the Lakers in the bubble season, even though he never played in the finals for obvious reasons. Remember, that was the year of COVID, so Go figure, right? Right. All right, on we go. The Maple Leafs, so now they're sticking with Sheldon Keefe as their head coach. He signed a multi-year extension. The bench boss ending speculation of whether Keefe would stay in Toronto or under new GM Brad Terveling or go elsewhere. Keefe's previous deal was set to expire at the end of this season. The upcoming season has a record of 166, 71, and 30, and sixth in franchise wins of all time, even though they have not won a Stanley Cup since 1967. But they have 50 back-to-back winning seasons, counting this year and last year. The last two seasons, that is. That's not bad though. That's not easy to do. 50 wins back to back. So I think he's deserving of getting that deal. What do you say, guys? All those in favor say aye. All those in favor say aye. Could you do it more in unison next time, please? Yeesh. Okay. Next up, referee Eric Lewis is retiring and ending the league's investigation into his social media activity of sorts. Before the finals, some tweets now deleted were revealed by a pair of former Twitter users now known as X that appeared to show the referee defending himself and other officials against their critiques of their work. Everybody's a critic, though, folks. The league then opened an investigation into whether Lewis violated league rules by speaking to officials in an unauthorized manner, determining whether Lewis was using the account under an assumed name. Thankfully, it wasn't mine. Oh boy. Lewis was not selected as one of the 12 referees to work the finals between the Nuggets and the Heat. As the league continued the investigation, Lewis did work the last four NBA finals. He has worked more than 1,200 games in his career. That includes 19 playoffs as an official. His last game was on May 16th as the Nuggets hosted the Lakers in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. And the tweets came out a week later, and then everything just fell apart from there. Okay. All right. Um, oh, yeah, I know. Speaking of basketball, I found something interesting that might be appealing to some here. Now, where was that calculating article? And if Steve was here, the other Steve, he would say something about the Celtics guard, Siv Bolaic, as he was signed to a 1 year deal on Tuesday. He's played for 6 different teams in 5 different seasons. Last season with the Knicks and Hornets, and played his college ball at Kansas. But he is a native of the Ukraine. He's a native of the Ukraine. Some people, well, some players are. What can I say? Some players are just journeymen. you know. But I don't think it's by his choosing, though. I mean, unlike some players we know. And Luka Doncic is going back to our All-Star first game, as the NBA announced back on Wednesday, Thursday, that the Mavericks will play a preseason game in Spain in October against the defending EuroLeague champs Real Madrid. This will be the 8th time that the NBA has played in Spain's capital, and the 20th overall comes 35 years after an NBA game was first played in the country. Doncic, a four-time All-Star, was only 13 when he joined Real Madrid and became the youngest EuroLeague and EuroLeague Final Four player to win NBA at 19. This matchup marks the first preseason game in Madrid since 2016, when Luka and Real Madrid hosted a game against the Thunder. Before heading to Spain, the Mavericks will play 2 games in Abu Dhabi against the Timberwolves on October 5th and 7th. Yeah, got some traveling plans, don't we, guys? Yeah. And another call from the DC area. Would you state your name, please? It's Dana from the Beltway. Hi, Dana. How are you? Yeah. All right. Oh, I forgot. We have some women's notes to attend to. Um, I don't know if you've been following. Oh, WNBA has a big thing here. The WNBA sent a memo to their three players on Wednesday actually, regarding its rules on charter flights for the postseason. Though most WNBA flights are commercial, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert announced in April that the league would have charter flights for postseason games. Well, that's to some degree. That's true. But a recent memo specified teams essentially can't take charter flights for multiple travel legs between playoff rounds. Wait, there's more. This would apply, say, if the lower seed beats a higher seed team in the first round of a game two sweep on the road. That that team would get a charter flight at their disposal going to the semifinals, either to get home from round one or travel to the semifinals from their home market. The other flight would need to be a commercial flight. Would have to be a commercial flight. Game one of the semis is scheduled for September 24th. There could be another long break after that, as the semifinals, as games three and four are set for September 29th and October 1st. Game one of the finals starts October 8th. Sounds kind of confusing, doesn't it, guys? It's kind of weird. Yeah, but it's all about charter flights and whatnot. So, they got to think about that. Oh, oh, by the way, has anybody been following the U.S. Open? Venus Williams goes down in the first round in straight sets to a qualifier from Belgium named Greet Minion. This is the first time in 21 tries. Yeah, yeah. The U.S. Open in tennis, not golf. It's true, Dana. Well, don't forget now, she's 43 years old. She's had two kids. I mean, her stamina is pretty much gone. So, go figure. Yes. No, I meant Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. Yes, Venus. Eesh. So, anywho, yeah, the first time in 21 tries in the first round, she was 21-0, but this was her third consecutive loss in Flushing in the first round. Well, we all lose it eventually. Williams was a wild card entry to compete at this year's tournament, but was forced to withdraw from a tournament in Cleveland to a knee injury, and that might have been cause for the first round upset as well. So we got to figure that out too, guys. I think she was. Well, she was in pain, I think, too. So the injury, I think, played a factor. I think would have to. Greg is here. Greg, you want to mention anything about the tour championship last week? Yeah, take a look. Uh-oh. Uh, yes. Yeah, right. No, I get it. You do. You do. Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Hey, Dana, I got some interesting news that you might like. There is going to be a new women's professional hockey league starting in January. Yeah. So listen. Yes. So here it goes. Back on Tuesday, the league unveiled 6 new franchises that will debut after the new year with a 24-game schedule. I think that's how the NHL started with 24 games. There's only 6 teams then. Three teams will play in Canada, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa. The U.S. will be New York, St. Paul, and Boston. Details on names, logos, and arenas will be announced before the start of the year. Rosters will start forming as early as Rosters start forming as early as yesterday, and draft will fall on the 18th. And the women's championship to be played in April. So, Dana, what do you make of this new women's league coming up?